the main problem, the main hurdle that minorities seem to have always had getting into RPGs hasn't been the games themselves. It's been their own communities that often write this stuff off as some sort of horrible distraction or as white people shit. That's the same with goth subculture. Same with metal. The prejudice and the pressure against people joining in has come from their own cultures and subcultures.
Well, that's why it's extra aggravating when, years later they turn around and blame us all of a sudden. We as white nerds kept them out of this. No, I would have loved to play with whoever.
Yeah, I think having just the option for more players in a city, if there were 20, 30 more people within the little subdivision I'm in, that would be great because then I could always have a game ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's just growing up, I couldn't picture myself as the hero. That's the deal, man. Nobody who plays these games pictures themselves as the hero.
I mean, we used to watch a whole bunch of kung fu movies like Jackie Chan, Chow Yun-fat gun fu movies, and then we play Feng Shui. Or they never stopped us imagining ourselves as Chinese heroes or whatever else.
Yeah, and those games have been around since at least the 90s, if not all older.
Yeah.
and I was when I was a kid, we would watch, the latest 80s action flick. Then I'd go run outside, play with my friends with toy guns and toy swords and shit. And we'd just have a great time. Because we had imaginations.
I personally suspect that this announcement trailer is going to be very shallow, very boring, and very corporate.
It's extremely corporate.
The other problem I have is before they've even told you really anything about the new system, we're just going straight to the identity politics part of it.
Yeah.
Preach.
Yeah. They just
literally in 30 seconds.
It's like I'm always saying on Twitter. So I don't care what identity you have or where you like to rub your genitals. Tell me about your game. Is it
exactly
what is it about?
Well, the annoying thing is that they talk about wanting to be represented and wanting to see themselves. But then I remember last year when they did some analytics on Baldur's Gate 3, they found that most people play white human fighters, and everyone got really mad on the left. It's all these boring white dudes. Why can't they play a tiefling or a dwarf? It's well, maybe they want to see themselves represented. Why is what's good for goose is good for the gander, as they say.
Hey, Zach.
I mean, from the developer standpoint, I can see why they would be annoyed by that because of all the effort and time that got put into that, or even if you're in a bug testing state, to want to make sure you don't have any problems. So I can see a logistical reason for why game developers might be annoyed by that.
Well, the company was very tongue-in-cheek about it, but then everyone on Twitter basically took it as them making a serious statement, and they piled on basically.
Of course.
Part of the problem is you lose context in meaning when you just are reading written word.
True. Oh, and Brutal Hermit says it shows where their priorities lie. They don't care if the game is good, only care about trying not to offend people. Yeah. Well, let's continue.
About offending some people.
Offending some people, not others. They were butthurt. Everyone played White Fighters. Yeah, Matt.